Hello, class. I'm going to talk to you about conflict resolution and some topics, ways to resolve the problems and the conflicts, and how to get around it. All right. Off to the first one. What are some conflict resolution techniques? Um, when conflicts and disagreements arise in the project teams, there are a few techniques that can resolve the problem. One of them is more a preventative measure that encourages functional conflicts. That right there is just a way to promote discussion, open discussion, and expand on topics, and then uncover unknowns that are not normally considered under situations with no conflicts. By discussing topics before they become problematic, it alleviates the potential for conflict within the team. The second option is more reactive. It's to eliminate the conflict as a whole. If it's a tool or asset or individual, whatever it is, you would be removing that tool, individual, or asset from the conversation, from the project, therefore no longer being a problem or a conflict altogether. So moving on to the next, um, the question was, how do you resolve a conflict? So early on, definitely set some ground rules, and then as you're going about operating as a team, understand the backgrounds. Sometimes preventative measures and eliminating the conflicts are not always the best way to handle situations. Therefore, it would be personally beneficial to have all team members understand the root cause of the disagreement. So if there is a conflict or disagreement and it's about the project, you should definitely bring it to the table and bring it up. There should be an open discussion um, for these kind of situations. This will give all team members opportunity to look at different perspectives and give them the space to voice their opinions. This will foster team building and resolve conflicts and future conflicts. On the next, um, on the next topic, it was what is the best way to deal with difficult people. Um, you definitely want to understand their perspective, and then you want to promote open conversations without um, without punishment. You don't want someone to speak their mind and then turn around, they're punished for speaking their mind about a certain topic or conversation. That's very tricky to play, but at the same time, it does foster truth, integrity, and honesty within the team. And then there's the trust part that comes with it. But when it comes to dealing with a difficult person, a difficult person can cause problems that make daily activities a nightmare. The best way to deal with a difficult person is to understand their perspective and make it clear to them the way you see it. From there, depending on the dynamic of the relationship, a resolution should be reached that is in the best interest of the team and the objective. Okay, that's going to be key towards the end of our meeting here. When dealing with difficult people, how do you diffuse the situation? Whenever there's difficult people or has a potential to get very negative very fast, always use distance and space, time to think, and then readdress later, okay? If a situation arises and you need to diffuse a conflict, the best way to do this is to remove the individual or individuals from the area and allow time to pass before mentioning the actions of that event. Allow people or allow time to pass. Doing this gives individuals time to think clearly, to analyze the situation, and to think back to what happened, what they could have did differently. The next question was, what are some strategies to deal with difficult people? Um, if you're not um, very personable, understand that sometimes they may want to be engaged, and you may have to ask those questions if they want to lead or engage. If you're just a one shoe fits all, and you get it all done yourself, um, learning to delegate would be good in the situation. Um, and let people lead, allow them to step out front and take charge or have some kind of ownership to something. That way, they'll feel like they're part of the team. All right. What is the best way to deal with someone who will not compromise? Now, you will come across people who don't want to change one bit or compromise. If that's the situation, you both have to just stand your ground and agree to disagree. You can, on one hand, compromise, but if they're not willing to compromise at all and you are, if that's good enough for you, great. If it's not, then press on. But um, what you could do instead of compromising on your own end is to allow a vote to be made. And this goes back to what I said earlier. Let the group vote on two decisions. When the group makes a decision, that decision is final, no matter how you feel about it, if you not want to compromise or what it may be. Once that decision is made, it's final, moving forward in the best interest of the project itself. Now, with all this being said, there's some additional considerations to think about. The first is to make sure that you don't satisfy the concerns of others without regard to the other's party or what's going on. The next thing you want to make sure to do is to make sure that Okay, so like I was saying, the same can be said about individuals who want to over accommodate others. So if you're going to abuse your authority to satisfy others and neglect your personal obligations, that could be a problem. And another thing is to avoid abusing your authority to satisfy other concerns. But all in all, with those considerations being said, make sure that you use your authority appropriately. Because if you do, it can get you in a pickle that you can't get yourself out of. And that's my presentation for week one's discussion. Thank you very much.